السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. رب اجعلني مقيم الصلاة ومن ذريتي ربنا وتقبل دعاء ربنا هب لنا من أزواجنا وذرياتنا قرة أعين واجعلنا للمتقين إماما ربنا اغفر لنا وارحمنا وأنت خير الراحمين. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي واجعل لي وزيرا من أهلي هارون أخي اشدد به أزري وأشركه في أمري كي نسبحك كثيرا ونذكرك كثيرا إنك كنت بنا بصيرا. وصل اللهم على محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه وأتباعه وسلم. ربنا اغفر لنا وارحمنا وأنت خير الراحمين آمين والحمد لله رب العالمين آمين. We have been studying chapter Mursalat and we just started the first slide, and then the first slide was about what Mursalat means, those which are sent forth after one another, after one after the other, and then spreading the message everywhere. We said we should understand them in three different perspectives. One of them is the physical creation out there, being witnesses to the message, and also innumerable human senses that the message is delivered to human beings and also the prophets. So these verses are related, depending on the interest area of the reader, to every aspect of this creation and also revelation. Now, we arrived verse 7. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Innama tu'aduna lawaqi'. What you are promised will surely happen. Inevitably, it will definitely happen. Promised again, we will keep in mind that these verses must be considered from three aspects at the same time. The universe witnesses that they are transient, but they also witness their source of existence, the one who gave existence to them, doesn't seem to be limited and transient. They are the source of existence demonstrates his absolute qualities and his infiniteness. So, or infinity, being the absolute one. So we said definitely the universe says in its creation, the way it is brought into existence, definitely there is a promise in its nature. What is the promise? The promise is, I am transient, but my creator is permanent. So don't trust me, don't rely on me, rely on my creator, because I am transient. The nature of transience depends on two aspects. First, it is a beginning, there must be an end. Whatever has a beginning, there is an end. There is no exception in creation in this world which is transient but doesn't have a beginning. But some people may claim that the universe is eternal in itself. But of course, they will find, or they find themselves, although they run away from it, they find themselves in an unsolvable, unanswerable position. How a transient being can be transient but eternal at the same time. If something is eternal, cannot be transient, must be self-existing. That is, human logic imposes us. I cannot say anything transient. I keep changing, but I am eternal. But I can claim with no evidence, no logical consistency that I am transient, but in my transience, I am infinite. That doesn't make sense to me. I cannot accept it as a human being because if I am if I am infinite, it means I cannot be changing continuously, especially the fact that my change is taking place in dependence, so not in or at the level of dependence. How can I say independence? They're not independent. No, I am dependent in my change. I am not self-acting. How do I know? My existence witnesses. I cannot stop. My body cannot stop. It's being subject to the order of change. It is subject to something else. It is dependent on something else. So if I am changing, if I am subject to something else, I cannot claim that my existence is self-sustaining existence, which is eternal. We have to understand this. So nothing in the world is different from me. Atoms are like this, stars are like this, and planets are like this. Galaxies are changing, galaxies are turning. There is no static being existing and never changing, constant in its existence in the universe. Change is everywhere. You cannot really, no one can really deny it. So no one can really prove or claim otherwise. So that is obvious. And also, plus, the nature of change is not by itself. I am not changing myself. I am being changed, if you like, subject to the will of something else. The people say in the physical world, subject to the order. Okay, order cannot exist by itself because we have to we have to be careful. We have to think really seriously. Order, in fact, is nothing but the things are coming into existence. There is no objects and plus an order out there. Order is human notion. Order is human conception. We have to understand this. The way the things are continuously happening, coming into existence in the same way, I make a pattern for it. That is called order. That is my invention, if you like. That is my way of explaining the change of the things. As a result of my observation, how the things are happening, we have to realize that we keep telling that the order is happening, and everything is happening in order, everything is coming within order. It doesn't mean that there is an order as a pattern, as a mold, as a cup, and the matter, every single matter is falling into it. There is no cup. That's my perception. But am I imagining this perception? It means it is a, is it an illusion? No. It demonstrates the will of something. It means the things are brought into existence according to a certain pattern which necessitates that it is the result of a will which sends the things into being within a certain principles. It is his principles, it is his order, it is his way of sending the things into existence. It is his way of creating. That is how it happens. For example, if I have my breakfast every day at 7 o'clock, my children says, it is 7 o'clock, my father is having breakfast. Or my father is going to have a breakfast at 7 o'clock. That is my pattern of life in practical terms. It's just an analogy. Don't misunderstand that I can represent an absolute being. No, no. Just an example. So, why do I have every day my breakfast at 7 a.m.? There is nothing which obliges me that I have to have my breakfast at 7 o'clock. It is my free choice, decision. I decided I am going to have breakfast at 7 a.m. every day regularly. That is my decision. Can I change it? Of course, because I am acting on my own decision. I'm not bound to anything else. That is why the universe is coming into existence as a result of the will of something else. The if whole universe is coming into existence, is brought into existence, definitely, because it cannot come into existence by itself, it is subject to something else. It is subject to the will of something else. Those this something else cannot be as same as the universe is, created being is. So this being must be not a created being. Therefore, it must be something constant, absolute, not transient, but self sustaining, self existing, because everything else in the universe cannot have the quality of self existing. They are in need of being brought into existence. That is why we all are dependent on the will of the one who gave existence to the universe. So, continuously, this self existing being, we call it, everybody calls it, not only we here or the Muslims, everybody calls it the source of existence, i.e., the creator of the universe, is called God. That is how everybody uses the word as a name. I mean, represents the one who gives existence to the universe. So it continuously manifesting. It is absoluteness through continuously changing, subjugated elements of the universe everywhere. Ubiquitous, I think it is called, if my pronunciation is correct. Ubiquitous. Ubiquitous.
Ubiquitous.
Yeah. No, there is an expert here. Let him speak. Say it. Ubiquitous. Say it again. Close.
Ubiquitous.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you very much. So, uh, so it is everywhere. So let's go now. إنما توعدون لواقع. Come back to our subject. The universe says, I am dependent on the will of my creator, my source of existence, who is absolute. All right. So I am a part of the universe, so I cannot get out of the order of this universe. Again, order, you understand that? Represents the will of the creator. I mean, in the language of the Quran, so Ramadan is approaching, the month of the Quran is approaching. Uh, so we fast in order to welcome the Quranic revelation so that we won't keep ourselves busy with anything else. So keep ourselves busy with the Quran, inshallah. Inshallah. That's why the Quran is described, pardon, the Ramadan is described in the language of the Quran as the month of the Quran. Ramadan, in which the Quran is revealed. It means it must reveal to me, to my heart, to my mind during this Ramadan, so that I must be busy with my mind, with my heart, rather than with my body. So it doesn't mean that I should totally neglect it. No, instead of having 3 meals a day, I will reduce it to 2 meals a day. That is so simple. Don't exaggerate it. I don't eat anything from morning until evening. Come on, just you will control yourself, educate yourself, train yourself how to be aware of what you are doing. That's it. But concentrate on the revelation of the Quran. It means bringing the Quran into your personal life, inshallah. So let's speak in terms of the Quran a little bit to get familiar with it, warm up for Ramadan, inshallah, in a few days, maybe 1, 2, I don't know, whatever it is. So oh, my being also subject to change, and through changing says, I have a beginning because I am dependent on the will of something else. So he willed. That's why I exist. You know, God in the Quran says, I willed. It means I say be and it is. That's it. Not verbal say. No, my will is nothing but more than deciding to decide, to create. That's it. That's it. I don't need anything else because the absolute being can act in an absolute term, absolute conditions. So he willed, we exist. When he doesn't will, we don't. But he says, look, in the creation has to come to an end. You see, piece by piece, one by one, everything is coming into existence and dying. Human beings are dying, plants are dying, they are brought into existence and taken out of this existence. We know that it is, we say death is inevitable. Why? Because we don't own our existence. Nothing owns its existence. Galaxies die, etc., etc. You know these kind of things better than I do. So this message continuously comes as a result of I receive it with my consciousness, with my mind. Uh, I receive it, and I am also experiencing that. Look, I'm getting old, and also my feelings accompany this. My feelings say, "Oh, look at Ali, you are getting old. You see that you are getting nearer and nearer to get out of this kind of existence." Although my senses say, no, I don't want it. They exclaim, I don't want it, I don't want it. But my reality, my consciousness knows that you don't want it, but you will get out of this existence does not mean you won't exist. It doesn't mean you will not exist. No, get out of this type of existence as you were in the beginning, in your mother's womb. You were a cell. Come on. How can you claim that I don't want to get uh, out of existence. No, you were brought into existence in this form according to the will of some will of the creator, and he will take you out of this existence according to his will. Do you have any choice? No. Why? Because I am dependent. I cannot be self-existing and self-deciding by myself. So we have to humble ourselves down a bit. So we have to know that this way of creation, this way of emotional experience, mental, intellectual experience, understanding that definitely I am going to disappear from this kind of existence. So my source of existence, my creator, will do something to me. I don't know. I didn't know before I was born. I was brought into this existence. Where I was, what I was, depending on his will. So what will happen to me after I die? It is his will. But he gave me some, that is important, some, if you like, signs, promises in my feelings that I don't want to disappear from existence. I want to have a perfect existence. I want to have a perfect existence. That is very important. This feeling is a promise to me. That is why whatever I am promised in my feelings, it will definitely happen. What does it mean? I know within myself, within my feelings, that I'm going to die. But at the same time, I know within my own self that I don't want to disappear from existence. Plus, I know that I want eternal, pleasurable existence, perfectly enjoyable existence. This feeling is with me. So, this promise is, as we read from the verbal explanation of the creation, definitely is going to be fulfilled. This because there is no reason for the absolute being not to keep his promise. He is not a joke. He is not if you like, uh, a creator who likes torturing his creation. Why? He is, as you see, a creator provides everything to me to enjoy my existence within the conditions of this world, but educates me, trains me in one or another way. That is why I have to be careful to benefit from this education, to prepare myself in order to receive the better creation that I am seeking. But at the same time, I shouldn't forget I have a sense of fear. Why? This sense of fear says, Ali, if you don't act according to your reality, you will fail in your expectations. Throughout my life, whenever I obeyed the will of my Creator in the form of existence, I succeeded. Whenever I did not obey or disobey, do the contrary things, I never got success. I never was successful. I couldn't fulfill my expectations. The way all my throughout my life I am experiencing this. If I obey and be consistent with my feelings, with the way that the universe acts, it is created, I am successful. If I don't follow the way the universe is set by its creator, I fail. When I know that if I don't follow my emotions, my feelings, as they convey the message to me, the way they are created says, this is right, do it, Ali. This is wrong, don't do it, Ali. They are continuously bombarding the message to me. When I obey it, I am happy. When I disobey them, I am terribly in pain, psychological pain, if you call it. It means I get really sorry for myself. I get angry with myself. Why did I hurt my friend's heart? Which I keep doing that. If you don't believe me, ask me. He's next to me. I just keep breaking his heart. Why? Because I disobey. And then I feel sorry for it. I feel the pain. This is a way of training set up for me by my creator. Now, this way of creation has no futile result. It is deliberately a way of teaching me that definitely this promised within my own existence, this promised day, this promise. If I hurt somebody, I will feel the pain afterwards. I know I am doing something wrong. I am not being successful. I am just really destroying myself. I am aware of it. So definitely, this is the way of training set by my creator and asking me to get ready for the end, because after death, it means getting out of this kind of creation, my spirit will remain with this pain. And then next creation, the revelation, the scripture, the Qur'an tells me next creation will be permanent. My situation will be permanent. We have to understand it's very easy. The promise in all ways, from the creation, from my own being, humanness, humanity, and also from the scriptures uh, conveyed to me through the messengers, human beings with the language I understand, not necessarily the language Arabic or that one. I mean, this is the verbal expression that I can understand the verbal expression. I mean, in another language, translate it, that I can understand it. Work on it, I can understand it. So it is not a sign language, it is a verbal language, speech in the form of a speech. So that is why a human mind can understand the speech. If it is in Arabic or Chinese, translated into the language that I know, I understand the language. But signs need a kind of from physical appearance into by interpreting it into mental comprehension. The other one is of the scriptures are from verbal expressions. I can understand much better, clearer than the signs. Most of the people find it difficult to understand the physical language in the form of existence out there. They fall into a mistake saying that, oh, it's happening by itself. But if the verbal explanation clearly states that they are all created, oh, I cannot say anything against it. But this language may have a slightly different layers of understanding. Oh, this is another subject now. I think we understood that what the scripture says here in Mursalat, chapter Mursalat, uh, verse 7, what you are promised will surely happen. I say, yeah, that is correct. I confirm the message. Now, I'm not imitating the message, I am confirming the message. After I read it in English, I understand and I confirm. You see, that's why the Quran says, I am speaking to you with your language. Yes, I understand it. Now, verse 8. If you want to make any comment, because that was somehow, oh, there are something in the chat box. Let me read it. Okay. All right. Somebody shared that next week, because of iftar, I know you are going to have your dinner. We know, and all of us, and you are going to thank Allah. So, inshallah, we will end next week at 7:35, following week at 7:40, and then following week at 8 o'clock. Now, the time will allow us. Inshallah, Allah will give us the opportunity to do that. And all right. I thought there was a comment that I was looking forward, and there was an also there. I'm waiting for some brothers, sisters. Come on, the sisters, they speak more than brothers. So, all of you, please present your views, whatever you would like to share. Maybe a comment, maybe criticism, rejection, maybe question, please don't hesitate. I will be very happy to hear your voice, your interaction, but interactive. It must be an interactive, but I keep speaking, so no one really speaks.
There's a hand up by
Oh,
Galaxy.
excellent. Galaxy is going to speak. Oh, Galaxy. Oh, no, that is a huge being. Let me see.
Hi, it's Tolu.
This is what? Did you say?
It's Tolu.
Oh, Tulu, yeah. It means, but come on, speak it in a friendly way. Your friend Tolu. Yeah, that's my friend Tolu. Yes, go ahead.
I've asked this question before many times, but I'm so confused. I don't understand why. I don't understand what it is about me wanting eternal life and eternal happiness. I don't understand why my wanting it means that I will get it. Does that make sense?
Excellent. Oh, perfectly. You put it straight away, man. Thank you very much. Now, the problem, my friend Talu, lies in the way you use the language, which is my one thing. Excuse me, Talu. Ramadan is that's on the corner, every 1 or 2 days. So let's be modest because Ramadan is the month of, inshallah, modesty at the same time. Waiting to receive the message from my God, not saying against anything to this message. Modesty is really first thing required. So let's be modest. That there is, my friend Talu, be careful, there is no my one thing, because it is not your one thing, Talu. It is not my one thing, Talu. We are given this. It is inevitable. I have to exercise it. This is the one thing of my creator, your creator. This is the key point. We own, we of course, It is a false claim. We own our body. We say, this is my arm, this is my mind, this is my freedom. All I, my, me. That is the civilization which really, how do you say, uh, encompasses all our feelings. There is no me, independent being. That is how I am made. Come down. My feelings are given to me by the one who created the universe. So there is no my wanting, there is his wanting. So what we are given the free will to accept that this is his wanting or claim that this is my wanting. But which one? We have to sit and think about it seriously. Which one is more realistic to me? Did I give existence to this feeling of wanting eternal existence, eternal happiness, desiring it? Did I make it? Did my mother make it? Did my father make it? My father and mother died. I still want. And I didn't know. I found myself wanting. Come on, let's be modest. So when you say my wanting necessitates, does my wanting necessitate that it will happen? If it is your wanting, no, it won't happen. You cannot create eternity for yourself. I cannot either. Do we agree? Let's put our cards plainly. So open. We cannot claim the ownership over our own feelings. Yes, they are given to us in the form of promise. That promise will definitely will happen. That's what the Revelation says. Because the promise is from my Creator. By definition, he must be an absolute one. An absolute one is not going to do that? Do you think he said, how to say, uh, treat, uh, cheater? Or there must be another word. Come on, help me, my friend. It is cheating me, treaters. What do they do?
Tricking.
Sorry?
Tricking.
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 Well, is there anything in the universe which is tricking? That is the demonstration of his qualities out there. So if you understood, the answer lies in realizing the language we are using in a wrong way. That is why you can get, if you realize that it's not my wanting, answer is there. It is his wanting. So sure. That is the only way I can get out of my self-contradictory existence, invented or made up by my own misconceptions. So I have to be very careful, very clear, simple. It's not difficult. I am made, finish, period. I am made. If I am made, everything, for example, my nose is not my wanting. It's not my nose. I am created with a nose. So simple. I am made with a nose. I am made, or my nose is made with the ability to smell. Of course, in practical terms, we use I smell something good, something bad, especially during iftar. Every food smells wonderful, very tasty. So we say, I smell very nice foods coming, ready, etc. No, no, no. God, the Creator, is sending all them to you, and you become aware of it again as a result of the will of Creator. If we didn't will, we didn't exist. If we didn't will, we cannot guarantee that I am going to smell. I am going to enjoy the food. I am enjoying the existence or no, 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 no. I cannot claim anything over my being. Even the language is still wrong, my being. The being given to me, and then I realize that through the consciousness again given to me. I didn't create the consciousness, which is aware of my own existence. We have to be 100% modest while we are using the free will, which is given to us again, to educate ourselves. This is wrong. This is right. This is wrong. This is right. So that we will get into the right path, prepare ourselves and start acting in the way that my Creator wanted me to be. That is called the straight path. Talu, brother Talu, my friend Talu, does it make sense, or am I just really making up some stories which
It makes some sense. So the want to live eternally and to have eternal happiness is not mine, and it was given to me.
So continue. So I cannot say this one who gave me this sense will not keep promise in the nature of the thing he wanted, he gave to me. It is his promise. It is his responsibility. Don't worry about it. He said, I'm going to do it. That's it. You are not going to do anything. He is not a person, created person that has a limitations. For example, my father may promise me that he is going to buy me a car. I hope he was alive and would do it. So, anyways, it's an example. And the next day, he found out that he has lost all his money. His company bankrupt, right? And he says, I'm sorry, my son, I cannot buy the car because he's a created being. He cannot make sure what will happen tomorrow. But for the absolute being, there is no today, there is no yesterday, no, we cannot talk about in terms of any limited time and space for the absolute being by definition. So the conclusion, Tolly, you can say, this promise is given to me by the absolute being. I am sure he is not the one who is tricking me. Cannot be. Look at the universe. It's not a joke. Universe is not a joke. The existence of human beings is not a joke. It is so substantial, so consistent. How do you say it? So it's essentially proves itself that the one who made it on a perfect consciousness, perfect choice, decision. It is his decision. Even with the language of the Quran, it is his amr. Be it is. That's it. I willed it, you are like this. You cannot be otherwise at all, apart from my will. And I can treat you as I want. Of course, I can see he is keeping his promise. Why not? He is not going to keep his promise of eternal life, existence. But the only thing is, I will definitely exist eternally, but in which form? I will be treated according to my preparation for it. Here is the universe. I am experiencing good and bad, and then I am free to choose this way and that way. I am being trained here. If I decide to go to the good side, I am happy. That is a sign again This happiness is given to me, demonstrating that if you continue doing this, you will end up with an permanent happy life. I will give you. That is my promise. And if I choose the bad, I will always be in trouble, in horrible. If I say there is no creator, I'm just happening by itself, and I will go die and disappear from existence, all human feelings start experiencing complete despair. Whatever I do, I will get it, I will get it, but at the end, everything will go into nothing. So why should I bother, man? In fact, okay, temporarily I will enjoy myself, temporarily, and every temporary time passes, I lost it. That's it. It is a loss for me. I cannot get it back. It disappeared according to the understanding of this materialistic approach to the universe, to human beings. It is gone, finished. So this despair, essential despair, it is called, in fact, I mean, I made it, I coined up an existential loss. This existential loss is despair. So I will be treated in despair, which is called in the description of the Quran, hell. You will be treated in despair. Oh, Taya, please go ahead. Sorry, I just noticed your hand.
It's okay. Assalamu alaikum. I have a question, sort of piggybacking. So if we are, oh gosh, I lost it. But basically, the idea is that if we are learning about Allah's attributes based on looking at the world and how things are in order and how it doesn't seem like anything is sort of a trick. So his attribute wouldn't be suddenly to trick us when we, pass away. However, what about the things that do seem like out of order? Like, for instance, like a child dying out of the blue or something like that. How do we make sense of, understanding Allah in that capacity and that sort of not feeling like, I don't want to be disrespectful, that sort of not feeling like not a trick. I do not think that Allah is tricking me. I'm just, we don't always understand why things happen. So how do we sort of assess the things that do seem like they're out of order? And make it make sense for how we understand where we're going, if that makes sense.
Excuse me. Thank you very much. Now, I love this kind of challenging questions. Thank you. So the things are happening out of order. Did I understand you rightly, Taya? Come on.
Well, not it seemingly out of order because we don't understand it. Like my example of like if your child dies all of a sudden, you know what I mean? That may seem like it's out of order because we don't understand why. But yeah, how do we assess that as, order, if that makes sense?
Yeah. You corrected everything. To me, you gave the answer to your question. Seems to be out of order. It is within order, which means within the will of the Creator. So we don't want, for example, a young person, boy, girl, maybe child, we don't want even the old people to die and perish away. We don't want death. I don't want death. Do you think you will be happy? I'm joking, but at the same time, that keep the communication alive. Do you think we'll be happy because I am over 70? That man had enough of time. Let him die. When you hear that Ali died, you will hear one day. So will you be happy? Oh, then it's good. One old man got away, and how do you say, the Social Security will save some money now, apart from paying him patience. Will you be happy, or will it, oh we are friends or in good or bad terms, but still, we feel sorry. We don't want it. We feel pain when somebody dies. That is put in our hand that my creator tells me don't confuse death with non-existence. If you think that death is non-existence, that is why you will feel pain eternally. But death is not non-existence because you don't want it. This is my promise. That is my promise. What in Arabic? Oh, let me go this way. Yeah. To adun comes from what? What means promise. So that is his promise that human beings will not like disappearing from existence. It means I gave this dislike to them because I'm not going to treat them with non-existence. Now, whether today, young, old, or whatever, middle age, disappears from existence according to our sight, we have to make sure that it is the will of the Creator. Everything is adjusted accordingly, but death or a non-existence of a thing that we love does not necessarily mean that it will remain non-existence forever. It is out of my perception, if it is out of my sight, I may not be explained within the order of the universe, will of the creator, how it happened. For example, we see that 90, 70, 70 included, 100 years of people dying, we normalize it. Why don't we think that why we get old? Why we die at the age of 100, for example, 900, because I'm trying to expand it as much as possible after 70. That's why I use the example 100. I don't want to die, really. But it not because I am afraid of death. No, I don't want to die. Lots of discussions we should have together here. So we have lots of job. Please, God, please don't decide now. When I cannot do anything, you create me in such a way that I cannot communicate with my friends and then take me away. No, I don't want to remain in this world. Would you like to say, my friend is going to say something?
I'd like to ask a question. You're talking about you're talking about untoward death and an understanding about death. But the famous question that was raised by a man in England called Stephen Fry, he asked the question: why would God, a compassionate God, create an insect that will bore through a child's eye in Africa to make them blind? And this is a common feature, apparently, in some parts of Africa. So he has said, he has said it. He said it on a famous television program, and many people heard him as he doubted that there could be a compassionate God who created such things as that.
So it is an addition to the question. So it is telling that the way of creating it this way is telling you and me that the Creator teaches me I cannot sustain, I cannot guarantee. It is not me who has the say in creation, in the world. It is Him. I must admit it. If everything happens according to my desire, it means I am holding the reign of existence. So I am going to die. That is how I am created. In this way, I will understand it deep down in my heart that I cannot hold on to my existence as I will, as I want. It is not according to my will. It is not according to my power. It is not according to my wanting. It is according to his wanting. That is why everything, either today or tomorrow, at the end, sooner or later, will come to to its existence, to an end of its existence, so that everywhere screaming out to me that Ali, we are not existing according to our will. We are existing. My eyes claims that I cannot exist according to my own self. I am dependent. I am subjected to the will of my creator, and he can deal my existence as he wants. So acknowledge this reality. Acknowledge your reality. Be humble. Be modest in your existence. Don't claim to be superior over anybody, anything. You cannot say that this is my finger, I can cut it if I want. No, it is against the nature of your feelings. That is what God's will. You cannot damage your body by giving me the pain. For example, if I see that a baby is born, as my friend gave the beautiful example, which really disturbs with many people's minds, and we keep repeating this so-called quote-unquote problem of evil in our discussions on many occasions, but it is the most frequently used argument against compassionate God. But compassionate God is really compassionate in creating the things in this way, because can you imagine if we were left on ourselves to take care of our existence? Who can create my cucumber, one cucumber, to make me feel enjoyable life, to make me happy in this world, that is beautiful. It is prepared. I cannot sustain my life. I cannot provide all the provisions I need. They are all provided for me. That is what I have to realize, and I have to accept. My existence is taken care of by an absolutely powerful one, and I leave my existence to him. I cannot claim any ownership of anything. I have only one responsibility, that is thanking, being grateful to whatever I am given, either 2 eyes or 4 eyes or 1 eye or none eye, 0 eye. Whatever is I am given, no eye, no ear, no nose, but I have tongue. Alhamdulillah. It is a grace of my creator. It is just a gift. Through my taste, through my ability to speak, which are all given to me, I will recognize that I cannot create it. I know I am made. So I cannot oblige my creator, force on my creator that he should create me. He should create me according to me. But only I can read the promise and beg him, beseech him, petition him. Please, God, you gave me the love for eternal happiness. Give me love for eternal. Give me the eternal happiness. I will be happy eternally. That's what I wanted. That's what you wanted me to want it. Why should you not keep your promise? I have, let's say, God forbid, I have a child with 1 eye or non-eye, with no eye, doesn't see, blind. Okay, I don't want it. This feeling, this very feeling existence of this feeling that I don't want my child to be blind is the promise of God. Yes, this not wanting will be realized if only you refer it to me. I can do it. If you refer it to yourself, if you refer it to nature, they cannot give existence to anything. Go and search for it. See one source of existence apart from my absolute being. One creator find it. A thing can create one thing in the universe. Find it, go and ask him to create it. If you find it, no one did, no one can, no one will ever be. That's the language of the Quran. Kalla, indefinitely and with no end from now on. Never it will be possible because the way the things are coming into existence demonstrates clearly that nothing can own its own existence. Everything is subjugated to the will of its creator. No one can create itself. No one can guarantee. This is how we are being trained in this world. If we do something wrong, we experience pain. Why? This pain says, this is created by God. This pain says, now, this is my promise. Yep. You don't want it? Yeah, that is what? I don't want it. Read, that is the language, my friends, and especially Taya and my friend here, you raise the question. This promise is what going to be given to me. So never ever say, okay, I don't like it, don't say. My creator doesn't like it. Why should he permanently create such a being? So, but one thing, revelation explains to me, presents to me one point. We have to be careful about this point. If you say, I don't want it and keep complaining about the creation, not God yet, about the creation, that this creation is horrible, this creation is horrible, so you will experience continuously despair. I am in a terrible world. I am in a terrible world. It means that is your choice. You will be created permanently in a terrible world. That is the revelation promises us. Hell is waiting for those people who always experienced despair in this world. The hell is going to be the existence of despair for him. But those people who put their trust in me, it means be aware of the reality that this is God's promise and he is the most powerful one, all powerful one, almighty one. He can keep his promise. He must keep his promise. I am sure. Then this hope will really enjoy. We will enjoy this hope within our existence, and we will be treated in our permanent existence accordingly. That is why it is not a wishful thinking. It is my reality. I shouldn't deny my reality. I shouldn't contradict my reality. That's why if I don't understand within the order of this universe how this is happening, of course, we cannot understand within the order of the universe, because order of the universe is not the creator. We should refer it to the owner of the order of the universe, the way the universe comes to existence. This is the will of the creator. Will of the creator is giving us the opportunity because we have been given free will. Free will needs two options to decide. One is to reject the absoluteness of the Creator, promises of the Creator, and say that this is how I do it, I want it, I don't like it, etc. This is my choice. If I keep choice always and use it as a counter argument against the acceptance of the Creator, then I will be treated. God will say, okay, you thought I didn't promise you that what you didn't like it. That was my promise. That was my promise. You said it is not your promise. It is your own possession. Okay, then you keep your promise then. Come on. I'm not going to give you my mercy. I'm not going to treat you with my compassion. I'm not going to do that. So what happens at the end? I will be treated according to my own choice. We will study this kind of things in the following verses, but each verse is so deeply studied, needs to be studied deeply in details. That's why I cannot go further. Look, shall we go with, or would you like to say something more?
I just wanted to say thank you for the explanation. And that's sort of how I think of things anyway, because in my own life, I just reflect on all the good that I have. So I reflect on I see a lot of great things. Like I'm very optimistic, and, I see God's blessing. So when things don't fall in line, I'm usually just like, okay, I don't understand it. It doesn't mean that, somehow the goodness that he's been showing me has disappeared, So to hear your explanation just lets me know that I'm sort of in the right way of thinking about it. So thank you.
You're welcome. Our understanding, I am understanding, I'm not understanding, but limited to the order of the universe. It doesn't mean that
Sorry, it's Tolu. I just had a quick question. I didn't quite understand. So let's say that I said that I don't like it. So what happens from there?
Sorry? Excuse me, just a minute, Talu, just a minute. I spoiled the screen. Okay, just a minute. I will come back. Okay, this one. Let's see if no, again. Oh man. Oh, I'm handicapped. What shall I do now? Stop sharing. Okay, I did. Go back. What should I do? Okay. No, not leave. I have to do something. What I used to do. Okay. To rejoin. No. I have to close this stuff here. Okay. Close this one as well. And come here. Talo, I set it. Go ahead, please, Talo.
Thank you. My question was, okay, so let's say, for instance, but my child is blind, for instance. Okay, so I don't like that my child is blind. Then what do I do from there?
Talo, I didn't understand. Did you understand? No, I didn't understand. Can you please repeat or rephrase your question? I think it was in the form of a question.
Yes.
I understood. So Dolly's asking if he finds that his child is born and his child is blind. What does he do next in terms of how does he make sense of it?
Yeah. If let me repeat it. If I found that if I am blind, I am blind. Correct? Am I on the right track of understanding?
Yeah, we can say that. So let's say I'm blind, for instance, and I have said that, okay, God, I don't like that I'm blind. You know, I want to be able to see, but I'm blind and I don't like it.
Yeah.
What happens from there? Where do I go next?
Okay.
I think,
Very
sorry.
realistic. Thank you. Very realistic. Talu, did you want? Sorry, to lie. Did you want to say something?
I'm going to let you say it because I think you're going to say it more eloquently, but I think, and this is not an easy thing to do. If I was blind, I would think about all the other things that Allah is caring for outside of that. Because if you're going to torture yourself about changing something that is his will to happen to you, right? But if you concentrate, and I'm not saying it's easy, if you concentrate on all the other things that he's doing, he's keeping you fed, you can walk, you can see, you can touch, I feel like the thing of being blind will not affect you. It won't be this thing that is detrimental to you anymore because you found beauty in all the other things that he is giving you and somehow finding a purpose within that. Just look at somebody like Stevie Wonder. I'm sure there's a moment in his life where he would want to see, but I don't think that he's dreading that and I can't speak for him, but I don't think that he's dreading and is living this miserable life because he can't see. It seems to be that he's grateful for this gift that he has, and he has a bigger purpose, and maybe that is what you should do. You know what I mean? In that case, is not trying not to understand why it happened to you, but rather how you use that to be grateful and how you pay attention to everything else. But again, I could be completely wrong. Sorry.
No. I don't think you are not completely. You are not wrong. We are reasoning here anyway. Even what I say was wrong, you will correct it. But at the same time, I don't see anything wrong with your explanation. I am blind. I'm going back to the example. And I have a feeling, or I'm giving the feeling that I don't like it. And I don't know. I don't know why it is happening to me. No, but there should be no reason. It is not that I am punished in this way. It is not that I am punished. I am being punished in this way. No, that depends on the will of the Creator perfectly. If I don't like it, this sense of disliking blindness is also given to me by my Creator. So it is a promise. So that is the way I should acknowledge, guaranteed acknowledgement that I cannot make myself seeing. I cannot enable myself with the power of sight. And that is the declaration, which is very true. It is not me who can make myself a person of seeing, with the power of sight. That is a perfect human nature. That is what we have to accept. That is our reality, whether we are able to see or whether we are not able to see. That is our reality. We cannot make ourselves seeing at all. We have to admit that it is all from Creator. That is our choice. When we follow this choice, this is given to me by my Creator. So I will say, oh God, I am able to see, and I am in debt to you because you enabled me to see. So I am blind. oh God, you made me blind. I need to be, that's the desire given to me by you again. This is your promise. So I acknowledge that it is you who is going to give me a permanent life with a perfect power of sight. That is your promise. I trust you. In both ways, I have to realize that all desires are a promise of my creator. I am experiencing it and I have to act accordingly. Now, I think Hanana wants to say something. Go ahead, Hanana, please.
Yes, so just to kind of like review what you just said. So the way I'm understanding this is that if something happens, for example, we're using the example of a blind child, or I myself am blind. I become blind, right? So I was able to see and then suddenly I become blind. I will not like this. And there will be an internal struggle in me that will say, I don't want things to be this way. And then at some point, I'll be able to accept my reality and say, okay, this is my circumstance right now. I would rather that it wasn't this way, but because it is this way, and I can't change it back. I can't change it to however I want it or create it in a way that I would optimally want it. There has to be some other creator in the world that's kind of moving things around for me. As I think that I'm planning ahead, there is also there is a planner who is planning things ahead of me. And that helps me reach a conclusion that this is my reality, and essentially it's not my permanent reality, that there is a potential of this reality to change in the future. Also, in the and there is a potential far ahead in the future, at some point in my life, where there will be a permanence in this because I seek that permanence in my life. So I would like to see continuously. So yeah, that's how I understand it.
No, thank you very much. That's a perfect understanding. Thank you. I appreciate your contribution, mashallah. Thank you. So let's move forward. It doesn't mean that everybody is satisfied perfectly. No, no. But as I understand that some points are made, we will reflect on it and keep thinking about it. And whenever we are bothered, we will bring the same question again and again, because I know the same question, because of the heavy influence of this negative impact on our minds and way of understandings and languages, always saying that I don't like it, why God created it. No one says, oh, God wants me not to like it. Why? How? Because this feeling, not liking, the feeling of not liking is given to me. And also, this individualistic civilization always injects into our ego that everything must be as I want. No one questions, what do you mean by I? Where did you get this I? No one questions that. In materialistic civilization, they take it for granted, as if that our existence is the result of our own choice, our own power. We always claim this. For how many times a day we claim under this false impact of this materialist secular understanding of existence, every day I myself keep speaking with this language. I don't like it. Why do you do that? Or so why should I suffer, for example? The language of suffer, for example, is a big problem. What do you mean by suffer? You suffer yourself as a result of your choice, not as a result of your creation. For example, if I was created, which for example, I am an old man. If I criticize that, oh, creator, why did you create me with old age? I'm not able to do anything I want. Now, I used to do, I loved that. Now, why do you deprive me of all my youth uh, power and facilities? No, we are used to them. We are old. Of course, he is old. Why? Why, of course? Because we are used to it. We normalize it. An old man cannot walk properly, cannot see properly like me. Oh, they say, oh, it is normal. Oh, more than 70 years old, 80 years old, it is normal. Normalize it. Why it is normal to not to see, not to be able to see properly at the age of 80? We don't question this. We normalize it, but in fact, the reality, we are not independent, existent beings. We have to accept as we are. We are created with two legs, two arms. That's it. We cannot say, why I don't have four arms? Why? Why I don't have four eyes? Because we normalize it and as if it is taken for granted. No, everything is happening according to will of the creator. So I think Hanana, your hand is still up on purpose. Oh, yeah, thank you very much. So let's move a little bit because we have already covered the following three more verses. Quickly go over it before it is 8 o'clock. So verse 8, when the stars shall be extinguished. We covered this, huh? Definitely it will happen. وإذا النجوم tumusat. So definitely it will extinguish it because they will just stop existing by the will of the creator, and they will not be able to give light. That is for sure because we observe it, and this is perfect because the way they are created is the promise of the creator, and this promise of the creator will definitely be realized. No way to run away from it. And the sky is torn apart. Yeah, with the sama'u furujat. So completely torn apart, scatters around, whatever you say, all these negative words you can put there. So it means, again, the sky cannot sustain its existence by itself because it is, as we have discussed at the beginning of today's class, because it is subject to the will of somebody else and they cannot sustain their own existence. And this is the promise of the creator, that the way the things are created in a transience is the promise of the creator that this being is transient, definitely will come to an end. And in the other verse also, وَإِذَا الْجِبَالُ نُصِفَتْ, that when the mountains are scattered like dust, why shouldn't they? Do you think the mountains can have this solid, awesome appearances, existence by themselves? No. So it is obvious that the mountains cannot exist by themselves as a very solid, substantial being, according to human perception, of course. then we have to say that oh, the Quran speaks to human beings. So the Quran speaks to my perception. My God speaks to my perception and said, you think that the mountains are so strong? They cannot exist by themselves. They cannot be strong by themselves. That is how I made them in this form. I can change their form as I will. That is what we should come to realize. This is a promise. The way that the things are created in transient form, that is one. And the second, everything is created in dependent nature, subjugated to the will of something else. It means the creator's will. These two nature demonstrates that it is a promise from their creator to show us, to tell us that they are not existing according to their own choice. They are existing according to the will of the creator, and the will of the creator is promising through the fact that their existence, which kind of qualities they have. This is the reality. So they should, we cannot, the human beings cannot say that mountains are strong. No, mountains are created as they are. Mountains cannot stand their own, they cannot stay in their own existence because it is not their choice. They are definitely dependent on the will of their creator. So this shows that these promises are going to be definitely come to reality. This promise is going to be kept. So this verse, I don't think we have it. It is a very important verse. وَإِذَا الرُّسُلِ أُقِّتَتْ. وَإِذَا الرُّسُلُ. I'm sorry, what a big mistake. When the messengers are, each of them are appointed a time. What does it mean? That the messengers are given an appointment. Where? Why do you bring the messengers now into discussion? What is it to do with it? And how am I going to relate this verse to my real understanding of creation, existence? How am I going to utilize this verse in my practical life? It is a big question. Inshallah, next week, this interesting, very practical subject is going to occupy us and take some times of us, inshallah. Inshallah, Allah will guide us to understand the secret of this verse. It means apparent secret of this verse, because it looks like, and I see the classical sources talk about it, and inshallah we will benefit from these classical sources, and we will update these interpretations and bring it to our practical life. How are we going to experience it? Whether really we have prophets, messengers present, and they are keeping their appointments with God. God said, okay, I gave you the appointment with them. They will be present in human life. So is it really the case? It needs a really comfortable time. Inshallah, we will do next week. Next week, 6:30 until 7:30 or 10:35, just before iftar. Don't worry about iftar. Inshallah, it won't be more than iftar time.